With Nintendo nonchalantly teasing their next console reveal for later in the fiscal year on just Twitter, the Switch's record-breaking run looks to finally be coming to an end. The passing of the torch is happening right before our eyes. But unlike its unfortunate predecessor, rest in peace Wii U, the Switch will not go quietly into the night. Not only did the Switch have an incredible year in 2023, the latter half of 2024 is now armed with promising titles that fans cannot wait to play. Why Nintendo felt the need to release them so close together is beyond me. Gotta get that holiday money, I suppose. After this past week's June Direct, it's clear that the Switch is not dead. Yet. Give it about 6 months or so, give or take a few weeks. So let's talk about some of the titles that I'm looking forward to at the very least. Starting with the long-awaited re-reveal of Metroid Prime 4, now with the new subtitle, Beyond. It looks beautiful, so beautiful, well polished. Honestly, I just cannot get over the fact that this game is running on the Switch. It looks so beautiful. And I know some people are already complaining that it looks outdated for whatever reason. My expectations are low, I get it. But I still think, even by the Switch standards, this is fantastic. Or should I say, especially by the Switch standards. And we're also looking at a pre-build or a early build of the game. So let's wait a year, see if they improve it at all, and then you can come back and complain. I mean, people can complain whatever they want, but I don't know what more you want from it other than maybe higher resolution. The frame rate's there at 60 frames from what people are telling me, so there you go. So we start off with Samus coming in, ceremoniously, traditionally, onto this planet. I assume this is the beginning of the game, similar to how the first Prime game started. You scan some areas, it introduces the controls and sets the vibe. A good cold opening, which I love when Prime games do that. Sylux is indeed back and seems to be working with the space pirates. Go watch other YouTube videos to learn who Sylux is, because if you didn't play Metroid Prime Hunters or see him in Metroid Prime 3, you're probably a little lost. But that's okay, I was too. Sylux seemingly is controlling these Metroids behind him, although apparently they're called Mocktroids? I don't know the lore. I'll let some other Metroid channel handle that. But either way, it's pretty hype to see this explosion and then him walking through the hole in the wall. It's gonna be so great. I have no idea what the story is gonna be about. I assume Samus will lose her powers and go explore a planet. That's usually the gist of it. But I'm very curious to see in what way they're going to have Samus do all that. At the end of the trailer, we got a good look at the world. Absolutely glorious, just expansive in many ways. I don't know how much of this is actually explorable. I doubt it's an actual free roaming world. I'm pretty sure it's going to be broken up into segments, just how Metroid is. And that's what I want, really. I don't want this free roaming area. I very much prefer the traditional room by room type vibe. They could be bigger rooms, that's fine, but please keep it that way. So thankfully they're not reinventing the wheel. It's seemingly more of the same incredible gameplay we had from the trilogy. That said, I do expect them to have a unique twist on the Prime formula, some new gameplay quirk or whatnot. But we probably won't find that out until much later, maybe not until 2025 for all we know. And speaking of 2025, in my opinion, there is no way Beyond only releases for the Switch. Yes, it looks like it is definitely coming to the Switch, but it is going to be a dual release for the next console. I'm probably speaking too confidently about this, but I really do think that's the case. I think it is a dual release and going to be ushering in the next console. So glad all our years of waiting is finally over, at least for more information. Now we have to wait for the game to actually come out, but super excited for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And if you haven't played the remaster of Metroid Prime, do yourself a favor and play it. Even if you've played Metroid Prime before, go and play this remaster. It's so good. And you'll be playing it and realize, oh my gosh, this really is a masterpiece. And I'm hoping I get the same feeling with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Next is arguably the game I'm most excited for, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Or should I say Legend of Link? Legend of Zelda, a missing link. I'm so funny. Remember when fans thought Zelda was going to be playable in Tears of the Kingdom? And then Nintendo just said, lol, no? Well, Nintendo remembers. For the first time in Nintendo first-party history, Princess Zelda is playable in her very own adventure. Notice I said first party. Wanda Gamblin and Hyrule Warriors do not count in this instance, although I do recognize Hyrule Warriors as a great game for Zelda. But instead of giving Princess Zelda a sword, the foxy grandpa Aonuma has given her a magic copy-paste stick and told her to spam beds all across Hyrule. Go ahead, go create chaos. I like how they've changed up the gameplay with Princess Zelda at the helm. Granted, it's not going to completely revolutionize how you play the game. It's just a different way to play this puzzle adventure game. So I'm curious to see in what ways we'll be able to explore the world. I'm willing to give this new playstyle a shot. It's also really nice to have a new Hyrule to explore after all these years. I mean, Awakening was nice to go back to, but still, it was a remake. Actually having a new Hyrule to poke around and explore is great. There's also plenty of familiar faces. You have River and Sea Zoras, or are they just called Zoras? River Zoras and Zoras. You don't really see them interact very much until now. You have a Chibi Gerudo, Sheikah tribe, an old Sheikah woman who could be Impa, the goddess statue right behind her, a Deku business scrub that seems to borrow from the Ocarina of Time design, and of course, the Great Deku Tree itself. Actually, the world does seem to borrow from Breath of the Wild in design choices a lot of ways. Well, a little bit of Ocarina of Time, a little bit of Breath of the Wild. It's like they're trying to sell the Lego set or something. But seriously, I wonder if they're trying to make the series more uniform in a way, really push the Breath of the Wild and Ocarina of Time art styles, which not a bad idea. I do feel bad for the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword fans, but you know, it is what it is. We'll make do with what we got. Oh, and this scene is no doubt a Breath of the Wild reference. Although I am excited to see how open the world is and what kind of dungeons they'll prepare, there's got to be a limit to the copy-paste ability at least the beginning. I can tell there's dungeons in this game, it's just the way it's set up, so in what way will those dungeons be explorable? And then the overworld itself, is it pretty free reign? Are we going to be able to access everything from the get-go and it's just which way we want to go? Or will there be limits to what we can do, particularly with the copy-paste ability? There's got to be a limit at the copy-paste, right? At least at the beginning? Either way, I can't wait to see the chaos that ensues when people really get their hands on it and just start copying every little thing. But I also wonder if there are any other spells. Is it just the copy-paste ability? Because we can see that on the user interface, there's a button for the copy, at least the wand, but then there's slots for other, potential other button inputs. I don't know if that's by design or if they're leaving that blank for future abilities. I don't know. Just putting it out there. Kind of going into the story, Try the Fairy looks a little strange, but a cute companion. Not very expressive, but again, cute. Definitely some Triforce relation with this one. It does make me wonder what the overarching villain will be. Is it just Ganon again? Or is there some sort of relation with, I don't know, the goddesses or something? It would be kind of a shame if it was just Ganon from an alternate dimension. It would be par for the course when it comes to Zelda. At the end of the day, I hope this turns out to be a fun puzzle adventure game that not only captivates Zelda fans, but really kind of reaches a different audience. Okay, moving on to Mario and Luigi Brothership. I know it's not very original, but I can't help but make the Brotherhood reference here. In 2019, developers of the Mario Luigi RPG series Alpha Dream shut down because they're bankrupt. They got no money. And so everyone thought they were dead. 5 years later, Mario and Luigi make a glorious return, now on home console. I have no idea who is leading this development because, as far as I know, Alpha Dream is still dead. But whoever they are killing it based on this initial trailer. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo saved some of these developers that were at Alpha Dream or really engulfed them into the Nintendo family somehow. But either way, Alpha Dream is gone. This is a new studio as far as I know. The art style and graphics look very clean. New areas are vibrant and fun. I mean, it's keeping with the traditional style of Mario and Luigi. My only hope is that the gameplay matches the peak of that series. There have been some lows, but there have been some highs. So I'm hoping they can hit that middle ground. And honestly, I can't say for sure what it is that makes some Mario Luigi games better than others. Could be nostalgia, but it could also be just how tight the gameplay is and how the game progresses over time. Also, the writing, I think, can also be hit or miss. I think with later series, at least some of them, they maybe dumbed down the writing a little bit. So I'm hoping that charming Ronnie we had at the beginning is still there. Based on the trailer, it looks like they've gone back to some of the witty writing that we're used to, but I digress. I love the character designs. I'll put that out there. I will protect this electrical plug girl with my life. Excited to see all the different electrical appliance characters around. The battles look smooth and follow the classic style of combat with some fun-looking boss battles. Again, those bosses with, their punk hairdos and whatnot. That's gonna be great. Even Peach and Bowser are joining in the fun. I know Bowser's been in the game before in various versions, and so has Peach. But, it seems to be implying that they're going to be helping us in our journey. I don't know if they're going to have a side story, particularly Peach looks like she has a band going on. They look great, and I'm excited to see what they bring to the game. I don't know what this flying electrical piggy bank outlet is supposed to be, but it ain't a pig. Don't you forget it. The villains this time around seem to be electrical appliance related. Even this guy that's kind of a phantom has wire cutters. So anyway, it'll be interesting. Watch the final boss be a Home Depot man. With the name Brothership and the final shot of an island tree ship, that must be a key feature for this iteration. No doubt. That you must be sailing in some way between the islands, although there was a shot of Mario and Luigi being shot out of a cannon. It looked like they were going to another area. So I don't know. But maybe they're being shot from the cannon of the ship to the area. Maybe that's what's happening. Either way, there will be a ship involved, and there will be brothers, but not a romantic ship, because that's Alabama. We don't do that here. Anyway, super excited to play my first Mario Luigi game after years of silence. Here's hoping that it's as good as what I remember. Super Mario Party Jamboree! Don't ever sleep on Mario Party. It is a go-to good time game in my life, even if I play by myself sometimes. I get lonely, okay? The first Switch Mario Party, Super Mario Party, wasn't great, but Jamboree looks to be jam-packed, oh gosh, someone stop me, with content. Not just gimmicky features, but actual boards and plenty of new and maybe some returning mini games. Mario Party on Switch has had its highs and lows. The low would probably be the first Super Mario Party. It had some interesting ideas, but it wasn't a complete game in my opinion. The second Switch Mario Party game, Mario Party Superstars, was a step in the right direction. Yes, they were rehashing boards that had already been released years ago, but it was a step back to what they knew worked, mini games that we knew were fun, and just understanding what made Mario Party amazing. So I'm glad that they took that step back to reflect, quickly get a game out, but reflect and implement online. And now we're gonna have that with Jamboree. I love the mall board game in Jamboree, such a fun aesthetic. I hope it's as fun as it looks. And the racing board looks very speedy. You can roll a 40. It makes you wonder how big the board actually is. Knowing my luck, I'll probably get like a 1 each time. But the racing board does look fun, and I love this that the game has 7 boards. That's a good amount, and they seem to be decently sized as well. Couple of potential negatives that I will bring up. Does it only use Joy-Cons? Again, that could be lame. Not terrible, but a bummer for some people who don't like the Joy-Con feel. I'm probably okay with it. I just know some people would be pretty bummed if that was the case. Is there online co-op for regular Mario Party? Mario Party Superstars had that, and it worked pretty good. I don't think I had too many issues with it. Sure, there's this big 20-player mode that they're hyping up that's online, but I just want to play with my friends in a regular game of Mario Party. That's all I'm asking for. So as long as you make sure that feature is in it, along with your fancy modes and things like that, that's fine. I am excited to see what new modes there will be. There looks like there's some pretty fun ones where you have to take down a giant Bowser, like a kaiju battle. That looks kind of interesting. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it and can't wait to play it by myself. I mean with friends, because I have so many friends who will play Super Mario Party with me. Ace Attorney Investigations Collections. We finally get the second Miles Edgeworth game in the West. I never played the first one, but I am a late Ace Attorney adopter, so I'm excited that we finally get this collection, and now I can play these 2 games that I've always wanted to. It has new paint, new art style, Much better than pixel art in my opinion. The pixel art actually wasn't that great. Not trying to rag on the original developers for what they did, but it's not the best looking pixel art, I'm gonna be honest. So the new style, the new art is fantastic. You get 2 games in one, looks very good. Miles Edgeworth games offer a new way to play. Instead of being the defense attorney, you're the prosecution, and you actually have moments where you can move Miles Edgeworth around in a room to look for clues. So I'm looking forward to see how that compares, if I like it more, like it less, or if I like it just the same. Honestly, Ace Attorney fans have been eating incredibly well on the Switch. We're basically getting everything but a new Ace Attorney game at this point, but I'll take it. Fantasia Neo Dimension. This one was originally on Apple Arcade. If you already played it, then this is not for you, but I'm glad it's broken free from the Apple jail. Every background model you see here, every diorama, is handmade. Blows my mind. I kid you not. This is the definition of a love project. A guy working in his basement or probably a studio, working in his studio on a diorama by hand. Fantastic. You love to see it. Combat-wise, I like this idea of sending enemies to a separate dimension to battle later, and then coming back and having a huge collection of them and taking them out in one go. That's really, really fascinating. I like that idea, kind of building up. I like when RPG combat experiments with new concepts, particularly placement and how to best strategize and things like that. I need to see more of the story, although I'm sure I can go around and find trailers of the Apple Arcade version, so I'm kind of keeping my ear to the ground on this one. Reviews seem to be pretty positive, but one negative I did notice from Apple Arcade is that there wasn't any voice acting. But there definitely is this time, so that could maybe save the game for a lot of people. Anyway, I just want to give it a shot, throw it out there. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Classics. The memories of going to the arcade and playing Marvel vs. Capcom. Probably 2, I think. I was never good at it, but I like to pretend I knew what I was doing. You know, playing as Spider-Man and Venom. I don't think I ever did the Street Fighter characters. Anyway, I might pick this up for nostalgic reasons, because it's still a great fighting game after all these years, but I suck at them so bad. I always would only play fighting games just to see my favorite characters, or just to play as my favorite characters. I never got really too into them, but for nostalgic purposes, I might pick it up. I've also been into X-Men lately because of the X-Men 97 series that's been on my mind, so it's coming out at the right time. Lastly is Dragon Quest HD 2D Remake. I don't have much of a history with Dragon Quest. I've only played Dragon Quest 8 on my 3DS, but I do want to give this classic a try, because I know there's so many people who love Dragon Quest, particularly in Japan. I want to understand why. It looks like a great remake for that. Very polished, pleasing to the eye. I'm hoping that some modern quality of life improvements will be there as well when it comes to how you grind and how you progress through the game. What I didn't know was that this is the first game chronologically. So that's nice to have Dragon Quest 3 first, and then 1 and 2. I did think it was a little strange that we were getting the third game as this HD 2D remake, but now that I understand that it's a trilogy, and this is technically the first in that trilogy, it all makes sense. Anyway, I'll probably pick it up, and then if I like it, I'll go on to 1 and 2. It's just, am I going to be busy with a bunch of other titles? We'll see. You know, I don't like to buy too many games at once. I also still have Dragon Quest 11 to play through. Yeah, my bad. When I was reacting to the Direct Live, I said that this was an A-rank Direct. Stepping back though, I would probably give this close to a B+. Still, there is a good amount of content to make Switch fans happy for the rest of 2024 as we wait for the next console to be revealed. This could end up being the penultimate or the final exclusive Direct for the Switch. We might get a Switch-only Direct in fall to prepare for the October and November titles, but I think fall is also the time we will see the new system, and by that time, fans will be ready to move on to the new toy. Granted, the Switch won't vanish once the new console is out in the wild, but once announced, development for most games will switch to the successor. We're not going to be able to make those shows once the Switch is gone. Enjoy it while you can. But until the curtain reveals that future, the Switch is not dead yet. In fact, it's going out with a bang. Thank you for watching. Did you enjoy this Direct? Please let me know in the comments below, and please let me know which games you are looking forward to the most. Please subscribe for more commentary on Nintendo games. I plan on doing more Fire Emblem content, along with maybe a little bit of Zelda. I always do a lot of skits. That seems to be my forte. Plus, I'm streaming. Right now, I'm streaming Paper Mario, so please give that a look every Friday. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more. All right, see you later.